Now, if you think about sharpening a dull knife, will one stroke on a whetstone sharpen that dull knife? No, it takes many strokes, doesn't it? Well, that's the idea, see. To leave a lasting impression, it takes repeated effort to inculcate into the hearts of your young ones. There's no shortcuts, see, to do this. And that's why Jehovah says when you sit, when you walk, when you lie down, when you get up, I mean, think about it. Sit, walk, lie, stand. What other posture or position does a parent or a child ever get in? That pretty well covers it all, doesn't it? Jehovah's saying, take advantage of every situation to inculcate His words into the hearts of your young ones. And when should you begin doing this? Well, think of this. You can't start too early, but you can certainly start too late. The Bible speaks of right from infancy, Timothy was taught Jehovah's words. There's a saying, as the twig is bent, so the tree will grow. And that's really true, isn't it? In fact, one doctor said by the age of 4, perhaps half of what a person is going to be as an adult is determined. By the time he's 4 years old, half of what he's going to be as an adult has been determined. That really indicates the crucialness of those early years indeed. So, right from infancy, make Jehovah real to your children. Make Jehovah's kingdom real to your young ones. Well, what are practical ways of doing this? Consider, please, these 6 practical ways quickly. We'll go through this. Read to your young ones from the Bible and our Christian publications. And we have to take advantage of all opportunities. When we consider the text, perhaps in the morning, family worship, evening, before they go to bed at night, read God's Word and the Christian publications with your young ones. Number 2, tell them Bible accounts in a way that brings these accounts to life. And help them to really notice the characters in these Bible accounts, especially Jehovah. If Jehovah's in account, did you notice what Jehovah did? Why do you think Jehovah did that or said that or acted that way? See, this makes Jehovah real to your young ones. Okay, open up, please, to Psalm 78 on this matter of relating Bible accounts in a way that brings the characters to life. Psalm 78. And notice what the family heads in ancient Israel were required to do regarding their families. And you family heads today have the same obligation. Psalm 78, and let's read verses 3 and 4. It says, the things we have heard and know, which our fathers have related to us, we will not hide from their sons. We will relate to the generation to come the praiseworthy deeds of Jehovah and His strength, the wonderful things He has done. So make sure your young ones understand and appreciate the wonderful things Jehovah has done and the wonderful things He's going to yet do in the future. Okay, here's a third practical thing. Pray with your children. Let them hear your prayers. Your prayers reveal to those listening what's in your heart, see. And that means not just repeating familiar, memorized phrases, but wholehearted prayer. Speak to Jehovah. Let your children hear those prayers and let them see that relationship you have with Jehovah. Have you ever overheard people talking on a cell phone? You may only hear one side of the conversation, but you learn pretty quickly what kind of relationship that person has with the one they're talking to on the cell phone. So you can know if it's a beloved wife, a beloved mother, or maybe just a business associate, or even a stranger that made a wrong phone call. See, you can pick up pretty quick, can't you? Well, the same way, your children can tell a lot about your relationship with Jehovah by means of your prayers, see. Indicate your love for Jehovah, your absolute confidence and trust in Him, and let your children hear those kind of prayers. Now, the fourth practical thing, pray for your children. Let them hear what you want for your young ones. Now, this is a good point, see. Jehovah, to illustrate, please help little Johnny. You know, little Johnny's a good little boy. He loves you. He wants to be faithful. He wants to prove the devil a liar. But he's having some challenges. But we know you're going to help him because he loves you, and we know you love him. Help him with that bully at school, etc., etc. Now, what effect do you think it's going to have on the hearts of your little ones if they hear those kind of prayers? Here's a fifth step. Involve your children in real learning. Not just passively listening as you read to them from the Bible or from one of our publications, or just listen while you talk to them. Involve them in learning. Draw them out with questions. And sometimes it's like a deep well. You have to have auxiliary questions to really draw out what's in their heart, and maybe a long pause, waiting until they express themselves. We don't want them to just be observers. We want them to be participants in the learning. The sixth practical thing, teach them to reason on Bible principles. Now, we talked about this earlier. We don't want them just to memorize rules. We want them to understand, discern the principle involved. Why Jehovah says what he says. And if you help them to discern Bible principles, they'll develop an active conscience, moral strength, and deep love for Jehovah. Well, there we have 6 practical things you can do. Read to them from the Bible in our publications. Relate to them Bible accounts in a way that brings the characters to life, and especially Jehovah. The third practical step we talked about here, pray with your children. Let them hear your prayers. Number 4, pray for your children. Let them hear what you want for them. Number 5, involve them in real learning. Number 6, teach them to reason on Bible principles. But now, let's just talk for a moment about how you parents will have to adapt your efforts to the personality and needs of each child. All of your children are unique, aren't they? In fact, if you think about it, all Jehovah's creation is unique. There's really nothing exactly alike that Jehovah's created. There are no 2 rocks alike. No 2 trees, no 2 tigers, no 2 snowflakes, no 2 fingerprints. Even what they call identical twins are not exactly alike. They're different in many ways, aren't they? So everything Jehovah created is unique. Your children are certainly unique. And fortunately, Jehovah deals with us as individuals, doesn't he? He doesn't deal with us all the same way. He knows we have different capabilities. We have different weaknesses. So he doesn't make unhealthy comparisons. So as parents, we want to make sure we deal with them as unique individuals, learning what gets the best results, what perhaps doesn't work so well. And if you do this, you'll help your children to reach spiritual goals they set for themselves. You'll help them discern Bible principles behind the rules. And we talked a lot about that. You'll help them to make their own dedication to Jehovah. You'll help them to become and remain active members in the Christian congregation. And you'll help them to live in a way that will make Jehovah's heart glad and result in great happiness for them. See, those are achievements that you can accomplish with Jehovah's help if you deal with each child in a skillful, a unique way. Yes, our children are truly precious. They deserve all the time and attention we can give them. And Jehovah's organization wants to help you in every way to be able to help your children make the truth their own. Now, to further help us, you'll be happy to know that the Faithful and Discreet Slave has prepared yet another beautiful 32-page brochure for release at this convention. It is entitled, Teach Your Children. This beautiful second brochure released in this one talk will really help your young ones to learn lessons from Bible characters. It's based on a series of articles that we had in the Watchtower during the past few years. It has 14 lessons, and each one of them tells the story about one or more individuals from a Bible account. You'll enjoy very much reading and discussing these lessons with your young ones. And interestingly, throughout the lessons, you'll find questions followed by a dash. Now, likely you recall, as was done in the Learn from the Great Teacher book, that dash is to remind you to pause and allow your young ones to express themselves regarding that question. Read the accounts directly from the Bible when you can. That will help them to really love God's Word, the Holy Bible. Encourage your young ones to study carefully the illustrations. And that will help them to put themselves in these situations, really visualize the account that is taking place. Each lesson is followed by review questions, and this will help you to have meaningful conversation as parents and young ones at the end of each one of these lessons. Use this new brochure to make the Bible come to life for your young ones. See, your young ones are not much different from Samuel, Josiah, David, Rebecca, Timothy. And just as those ones mentioned in the Bible prove faithful, make Jehovah's heart glad, you can help your young ones to do the same thing. They can be faithful to Jehovah and His kingdom. And we certainly want to bring honor and glory to Jehovah. He's been so good to us, hasn't He? So whether we have children or not, if we're just a couple, we want to bring glory to Jehovah. If we have young ones, we want our whole family to bring glory to Jehovah. He's deserving of this, isn't He? And if you are training young ones to become spiritually mature subjects of God's kingdom, we hope and pray that Jehovah will richly bless your efforts. See, we hope you'll put forth the effort, and Jehovah will bless that effort. We know He will, and that you'll get to overhear that young one that came out of your own loins say from the bottom of their heart, Jehovah, I love you. When you hear that, it's going to bring tears of joy to your heart, and probably many of you have heard similar things. But you're going to know that Jehovah is truly blessing your effort to help your young ones to love Him, to love Jehovah and His kingdom.